Hey, it's Anthony with Land Title. I wanted to bring you the Boulder County market update for the month. This is an incredible time of year, and here we are with the lowest inventory we've ever seen, just trending into a market that is going to be hyper competitive this year. Yeah, we have interest rates rising. Yes, we have all these other factors going on like supply chain shortages. But what's the most important part? The inventory. Watch those listings coming on the market, because not only is that where your buyers are going to be able to get under contract, but that's also what is going to dictate what happens with our appreciation and with all the other parts of this market. So supply is the #1 thing you need to pay attention to this year, and we are at the lowest point in recorded history in Boulder County right now, which means those prices are going up, and they're going to go up fast. The big change here from last year to this year is that the detached market is very similar, right? It's ultra competitive. We haven't had enough inventory. And then here we are with the attached market now shifting into the same situation where we chipped away at it and chipped away at it. For 2 years, we've been chipping away at our attached market. And here we are down to no inventory as well. 0.2, 0.3 months of inventory, right? We're talking about days on market, not months on market. And that means ultra competitive, high appreciation rates. You should start to see that attached product follow the detached market as well. Now, let's talk a little bit about supply. The supply on the market is about half in the city of Boulder, half out in the county, which is not a fair comparison in any way. Those barriers to entry are keeping the city of Boulder where it is, right? It has more inventory on the market because they are more expensive. It's harder to buy into the city, and you're definitely getting less for your money because the price per square foot is so elevated, right? So here we are, 75% less active units on the market. That doesn't change too much between detached and attached, but it definitely changes if you're out in Erie or you're in Niwot or you're in the city of Boulder, right? They're very different markets. Now, let's look about month supply. So we have about a 55 to 75% drop based off the market and from this time last year. So we were at 1.3 months of inventory last year and it felt tight. Here we are at 0.3 months of inventory, and this is the tightest market any of us have ever had to work in. It's awesome if you're a seller. If you're a seller, top dollar is like the easiest thing to achieve. Just do it right and people will bid and bid and bid until you get exactly what you're looking for. Now, if you're a buyer, this means don't get frustrated. It means get after it. It means definitely go see stuff the day it comes on the market, because it may not last more than a day or two. It's definitely not going to last through the weekend, right? That's kind of what we're feeling. When you look at markets like Longmont at 0.19 or Lafayette at 0.19 months of inventory, there's nothing there. It will be on and off the market as fast as it can. Now, the big changes here are buyer behavior. So from 2020 to 2021, we had a big shift in lending products and buyer behavior to help speed up the process, right? Trying to be more competitive. How do you be more appealing to a seller without just paying more money? Well, terms is a big portion of that, and so you can really see that here in the days on market. Now, we're at the highest point in days on market in January every year, or December, sometime in there, and here we are, 27 days on market. So this is going to speed up very fast. This is going to be the fastest paced market that we have experienced in our careers, most likely. I mean, look at last year, we got down to 17.5 days from active to sold. I mean, that's unbelievable. And here we are getting contracts from people with 2-week turnaround times and loans involved and rush appraisals and all kinds of stuff already. This is just going to get wild. But that does tell you just how many buyers are out there on the market, and they're just really, really competing every way they can to get stuff under contract this year. The actives and solds. So this is one portion of it where I think it's worth taking a little bit of time to dissect this. The luxury market over the course of the last year was incredible, right? We just didn't have enough inventory. Lots of listings came to market. People are selling, and buyers are in here and getting all of their needs filled. And we're already off to the races again this year. Everything over 2 million is above where it was a year ago. That's a hugely promising sign for our luxury market. Now, the real problem and the real concern is you get down into those lower price points, and they are evaporating, right? They're going away. We had 31 sales under 400,000 in all of Boulder County. It's just not enough to keep up with demand, and it's making it even harder for those first-time home buyers to get into a product just to get on the escalator, right? It's so important to just be able to build that equity growth so at some point you can trade up, and we're just not building enough product type that's affordable anymore in this county. So watching this, you can kind of see that shift year over year. Our 50% decrease in sales over January of last year, because most of them have been priced up to a different price point. If you look at just the total number of units under 400,000, our inventory is gone. It just is not there. There is none available. We won't be seeing any. So that is a concern, and that's a real concern here. But what that does mean is it means price points are rising, it means equities are rising, so you have lots of homeowners that are having record wealth growth, which is all wonderful things. It's just very concerning for those people who do not own a home and are needing to enter the market. Now, if we look at the month supply of inventory and the days on market by price point, you can see here 3+ million, or any of the luxury price points, call it above 2 million even, are in sellers markets, right? Stuff that this is the time to capitalize on that. If you're thinking about selling a luxury property, or you have clients that are trying to look at luxury property, it's time to get off the fence about that. This is probably your best year you'll ever see to be able to do that. Inventory is bound to start rising eventually in some of these markets, but consumers are looking to purchase right now. This is an awesome time to offload some of the luxury stuff. And of course, if you have rental properties, I'm pretty sure they fit into any of these categories, and this is an awesome time. But there is no inventory. So anything you can do to bring inventory to market with your clients is probably beneficial for them. They're gonna get top dollar for it, and it's absolutely gonna help those buyer needs. The real problem here is if you're working with buyers, this days on market numbers are where you're looking. These are the slowest numbers we're gonna see for the whole year, and they obviously kind of came down even month over month, or added a little bit to it month over month from December to January, because buyers finally got out there and got active in the market, but these are based off of sales, so they lagged behind a little bit. Expect these to speed up all the way through the springtime and through the spring market. So we are going to be seeing some very, very small numbers active to sold in very, very short times. I mean, we're already at 16.5 days at 4 to 499. That's only going to speed up from here. And you're going to see the same thing in the luxury market. You're going to see it get faster and faster as it gets more and more competitive, because you have more and more buyers entering the market with the lack of inventory we have available. So one thing to talk about from the sold analysis, we are having a lot of product sell, and places like Erie actually are in a better place this year than they were in 2021. There are more homes for sale in the market. They have seen an increased amount of sales. So this is a good sign, because Erie was amazingly slow last year, right? There was not enough homes available, and they started at this kind of inventory level the whole county's in now. So in respect to that, Erie is actually doing remarkably well. The real concern is markets like Longmont and markets like Lafayette, where there just aren't enough homes available, and you have a decent price point where people can still relatively affordably get in there. Longmont is struggling meeting demand, right? They just don't have enough sales. The city of Boulder is still doing remarkably well in their sales. They had some inventory on the market, but I would expect that we are going to fall short of last year's numbers, because now we don't have enough inventory to meet that buyer demand like we did a year ago. We saw that in the county from 2020 to 2021. So here we are, rock bottom inventory levels, which are going to stifle sales, but that doesn't necessarily mean that sales volumes are going to decrease a lot. We have prices rising, 2% a month or something. So with those kind of price increases, dollar volume of sales is going to increase as a county for sure. Now, if we look over here to the average sales price, I always have people asking me, how much has the market appreciated? Well, I think the best way to gauge that is just this trailing 12-month number. So this is the TTM here at the bottom, and what that means is over the last 12 months, how much has that price point changed? So when we look at percentage change from trailing 12 months to previous trailing 12 months, so that would be PTTM. The PTTM is 13 to 24 months ago, right? It's the previous year before. So if we take the percentage change, that gives us an average of averages that shows a rising tide, like a really good estimate of appreciation. So this is combined, right? If we go to detached specifically, you can see the city of Boulder went up 22% in 2021 over the last 12 months. Louisville, 25%, right? Markets like Superior are leading the way at 30%. Take Mount with a grain of salt. I would expect it to be rising very similar to the rest of the county. There's just not enough sales in there to kind of give us good examples. Right now it's showing 3%, but realistically, it probably rose in the 20% mark as well. That is not it's a very small market, so it's always hard to gauge, especially when you look at the average sales price last month at 2.6 million. I don't think that the average sales at 1.3 are a good representation of the market size. And you go into attached. Attached is a very different market. The city of Boulder's attached did not appreciate like they were, years past. We talked about 8%. That seems like a modest appreciation level compared to what we've been seeing, but expect all of that stuff to accelerate going into 2022 because now there's no inventory and now it's competing directly with detached as it already was in certain price ranges. Now it's all of it. So that's a different product type than we've been used to. Plus you're seeing that shift from that COVID mindset away from detached back into attached, where the lifestyle is exciting and it's more fun to kind of live in those dense areas. So you're really starting to see that take place again, and we're really starting to see that shift back towards to attached. Now if we look, let's skip these slides and talk a little bit about our percentage sold price to list price. Sold price to list price in detached is already off to the races, right? This means bidding wars on all properties, and you can really see down in the price point slides, down here at the table, you can see that those median prices, those average price points, under $1.5 million are already experiencing huge bidding wars. In January, 104%. 104% is like the most amazing spring market anyone's ever seen, and here we are in January experiencing that. This is going to get way more extreme. Expect 106, 108, 110% list to sale price on average, which means those cream of the crop top end listings, those cream puffs, like those perfect listings, those are going to go for those huge numbers you're hearing. 120% list to sale price, 200,000 over asking, crazy numbers that people are throwing out, and none of us can believe it. Well, that's because they're in those perfect conditions. So there has to be a spectrum there, right? Certain things that are not in great shape might go for asking price. They're still going quick. Everything's moving fast. But it is very important to articulate to your sellers that it's worth taking that time to get it done right and put it on the market to get that top dollar, because there are so many buyers out there that are willing to pay for that move-in ready product that's kind of what's driving this market. Now if you look over at attached popped faster. December had huge bidding wars in the attached market, and it's almost already at the same point where the detached market was a year ago. Expect these trends to follow the attached market this year. Really large bidding wars, and it's going to be tough. So if you're a buyer, stick with it. Be aggressive. Try to get something under contract sooner than later, because it's going to increase every month from now all the way till May. If you have any other questions, I'm Anthony at Land Title. I have all the local insights if you need them as well, and I'm happy to send you those videos too. So anything we can do to help you win deals this year, please let us know. I'll talk to you next time. Thank you.